everyone. My name is Dr. T. Subba Reddy, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, B.V. Raju Institute of Technology. In this session, we will discuss about exceptional handling in object-oriented programming through Java. So, coming to introduction. So, what is exception handling? Why we need to handle that exceptions? In real time applications, while filling application, either any entrance test exam application, we need to give our details like username or first name, last name, and address and date of birth, like this. So these details we need to enter in a text field. So while giving the data, sometimes user may give mismatch input. That means instead of characters he may give integers, or instead of integers he may enter characters. In that situation, program generates runtime error or system error messages. That such type of system error messages cannot understand by the end user. So our role is, as a developer, he need to convert that system error messages into user friendly messages. For example, in mobile number field, the mobile number should be integer. User, for example, user may enter, instead of integers, he may enter character. So here, that application will generate some runtime message or system error message. That system error message unable to understand by the end user or client. So as a developer, he need to convert that system error message into user friendly message. For this example, user entered instead of integer he entered characters. So here input mismatch exception will be generated as a system error message. So we need to convert that system error message into user friendly message, like mobile number should be integer only. We need to display that error message as mobile number should be integer only. Then next time client will enter integer numbers only in mobile number field. Okay, so this is the requirement of exception handling. So what is exception handling? It is a mechanism. Exception handling is a mechanism of converting system error messages into user friendly messages. In Java programming, we have three types of errors. One is compile time error, second one is logical error, and third one is runtime error. Compile time errors will be generated because of poor understanding of language. While developing any Java program, he must know about the syntax of the every component in Java programming. For example, if I am writing any expression, for example, A equal to B plus C, what we know in either C or Java programming, each and every executable statement must and should end with semicolon. If I forgot to put that semicolon, it will generate compile time error. If developer know very well that particular language, for example Java, then he can able to remove that compile time error. This compile time errors will generate due to the lack of lack of programming language. Second error is logical error. Program will not generate any compile time error, but it will give some wrong input. It will give some wrong input. That wrong input is because of problem misunderstanding. If any user while developing, if the problem understands very clearly, then he can able to use proper operators or proper statements. Instead of in this expression, for example, if a equal to b plus c, in this example, if I use instead of plus, if I use star multiplication, so here it will give wrong input, wrong output. It will give wrong output. So to remove or to handle this type of errors, we need to trace every executable statement. We need to trace every executable statement. Then only we can handle this type of errors, logical errors. Next one is runtime error. As we discussed about the introduction of the topic, that error is known as runtime error. If any client or end user gives invalid input or mismatch input, it will generate some runtime error. Okay, that runtime error is known as exception. As a developer, he need to handle such type of exception. That process is known as exception handling. So exception handling is a mechanism of converting system error messages or runtime errors to user-friendly messages. In Java programming, to perform any task, it should be done either with a class or interface. In Java programming, every task or any operation, to perform any operation or any task, it should be done with either class or interface. Next one is types of exceptions. Exceptions are divided into two types: user-defined exceptions and predefined exceptions. User-defined exceptions we will discuss later. Coming to predefined exceptions. Predefined exceptions are divided into two parts. First one is asynchronous exception. Second one is synchronous exceptions. Asynchronous exception means it will generate hardware related problems. Asynchronous means it will generate hardware related problems. For example, stack overflow error, memory out error, such type of errors comes under asynchronous exceptions. To handle such type of exceptions, we need to import java.lang.error class. Here error is a superclass for all types of asynchronous exceptions. Next, coming to synchronous exception, it will generate programmatic errors that either may compile time error or runtime error. So to handle synchronous exception, we need to import java.lang.exception. So here exception is a class. Exception is a class. Exception is the predefined for all types of synchronous exception. Again, synchronous exception is divided into two types. One is compile time error or checked exception. Second one is runtime or error or unchecked exception. So compile time error we can rectify at compile time during compile time, but coming to runtime error, this runtime errors as a developer needs to handle during runtime. Next, hierarchy chart of exception handling. We know object is the superclass for all types of classes, either predefined or user-defined classes. Object is the superclass, and then throwable is the superclass of all types of errors, that either asynchronous or synchronous. Either asynchronous or synchronous, throwable is the superclass. For asynchronous class, error is the java.lang.error is the superclass. For synchronous, java.lang.exception is the superclass. So some universal problems are arithmetic exception. It may happen if user are trying to divide anything divided by 0. For example, 2 divided by 0. It is not possible. In that situation, it will generate arithmetic exception and number format, file not found, array index out of bounds exception. These are all the subclasses of the exception class. So here it will generate exception. Each and every exception, runtime error is a class. Each and every runtime error generate a message that as a class. So that class contains the information about the exception. So we need to handle that exceptions with the help of 5 keywords. Keywords are try, catch, throw, throws, finally. These 5 are the keywords to handle exceptions. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.